Okay, let's talk about zero inventory. If you want a zero inventory, there is one thing you need to do. Sell everything you make. Simple, isn't it? But wait a minute. If that's so easy, why very few companies do it? Let's explain. That's not the end of the video. So let's start with some basic things. So you want to sell everything you make. So number one, make to order. Number two is a consequence of number one. If you make to order, you sell first and you make after. And the consequence of number one and two is your order fulfillment lead time. Let's call it lead time. It's higher than your making time. So your making time includes your schedule time. So you got to have some schedule, right? Some I'm going to explain later what is the schedule time. So it's not just manufacturing time. Manufacturing is pretty quick, but in order for you to manufacture with lean, you got to have a production order queue made with some advancement in time. I'm going to explain later. So long story short, if you are making to order and making after you sell, you stop guessing. Forecast is guessing. So avoid as much as you can make things to forecast. But why some companies they have to make things to forecast? Let's explain. So I'm going to show two radical, completely different business. A grocery store and Boeing. Right? Boeing never is going to make aircraft just to put in the patio waiting for a buyer. Boeing is going to start building an aircraft after they sell the aircraft with very specific requirements, very specific customizations. So every single aircraft is unique and made to order. The consequence of making to order is all the procurement and everything just starts after you sell, and the buyer knows it. The buyer is willing to wait the whole process to receive the aircraft he just bought. It's acceptable. It's part of the business to wait, let's say a year and a half. I'm going to search how much is the Boeing lead time, but I know it's huge, right? On the other side is the grocery store, your Walmart. You go to Walmart, what is the order fulfillment lead time of Walmart? It's 0, right? So you pick it. You don't call Walmart and order 1 pound of beans and show up after 1 week to pick your 1 pound of beans. You just go there, and if the 1 pound of beans is not on the shelf, you don't buy it. You go somewhere else. The vast majority of all the business, I can tell about my work experience, is somewhere in between. So what you want as a supplier, as a seller, you want order fulfillment lead time, or your lead time needs to be as much as higher, as long as possible, right? Makes sense? You want enough time to stop guessing. So you have enough sales order queue in front of you, then you can organize a production order queue long enough to allocate every production order to a sales order. then systematically your inventory is always zero, because your production order is allocated to a sales order and the loose inventory is always zero. But what happened? So your customer is requesting the same thing to you, is requesting for you to make your order fulfillment lead time shorter because it's his interest. So it's in a balance, right? So, and other factor is competition. So what happens? So you are in a market that if your competitor is offering 14 days order fulfillment lead time, and you put your foot on the door and say, my order fulfillment lead time is going to be 2 months, you're not gonna sell it, right? You're gonna lose for the competition. So you accept shorter order fulfillment lead time. Then what happened? Then what happened is, at the end of, you're not going to have enough sales in front of you to complete your production order queue. So at the end of the queue, you need to start guessing future sales. I'm gonna call it the 15th day dilemma. I'm gonna tell you why. It's based on my own experience, right? So where I'm working now, there are several order fulfillment lead times. It's like a customer segmentation, but let's make it simple. For some customers, we promise 14 days order fulfillment lead time, right? So let's say you say, okay, that's very simple. You have a 14 days ahead of you of sales orders. Then you have enough. You have 1 day ahead of you to plan the 15th day, right? Not so easy. Let's say I have something like a portfolio of 100 products. And let's say my production is not capable to run 100 different products per day. Let's say my production capability is to run like a 4, 5, 6 different SKUs a day. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing much more changeovers than running time. So I cannot make 100 different products on the 15th day. But I can sell it. I have a probability to sell it. So how I resolve the problem? I resolve the problem creating a forecast. But the forecast is itself just an educated guess. But at the end of the day, everyone is guessing. So how I'm going to be ready to fulfill the order of the 15 days. So let's just simplify here and do an exercise. Let's say I have a portfolio of 3 products, but I can run just one at a time. Very common, right? So on the 15th day, I can sell any one of the 3, but I can make just one. So what I'm going to do, to guarantee I'm going to sell everything that is possible. So while I am producing the item A, I need to guarantee I have a B and C already built in inventory. So I start building inventory. And how much of B and C? So let's say, just for simplification, I run 1 product per day. So I need to have at least 2 days of B and C in the inventory, plus an uncertainty factor. because I don't sell exactly the same thing every day. Sales are not linear. I have spikes, I have promotions. Sales are not linear, so I can have a statistical evaluation of my history. So I have a mean, a standard deviation. So I have a variability on my sales. So I am prepared for this variability. So I have 2 days just to cover the average sales, then something more to cover the variability. So I start adding up inventory just to keep selling because my order fulfillment lead time is too short. So that's the origin why companies build inventory. The companies want to sell too quicker than they can make it. So the only alternative to protect sales is making ahead. So they build inventory. Then what? So it's a matter of fate. I'm going to be building to inventory forever. There is no solution. Wait a minute. Some companies, they are linear than the others. So we can do something, right? So of course, you need to push your order fulfillment lead time to be as long as possible. Okay, but you just told me the customers are pushing to have it shorter, right? Yes, but it's negotiable, right? So if you have a saving and you want to share savings with your customer, you can have a price advantage over your competition, and that's a trade-off. You can trade better prices with longer lead times. Some customers will accept it, right? So, and you can sell it as a premium to make it quicker. And it's just a matter of negotiation. And internally, you can have your production cycle time shorter. So as much as you optimize your changeovers and then you make you move to the single unit production, which is of course is just a theoretical possibility. We know we know that. But if you optimize your changeover times, so you can have a smaller and a smaller batches, and a smaller batches translates into a smaller and a smaller production cycle times, and then you don't need to have a long schedule, right? So if you don't need to have a longer schedule, you can produce everything to order. That's the target. Stop guessing. So another thing is what I call availability check. Let's say if for you to confirm like 80% of your orders, you got to have some inventory build ahead. If you can negotiate the service level and it's still being acceptable by your customers, again, that's negotiation, right? That's how sales needs to support your linear initiatives. You cannot promise 100% order fulfillment lead time, so you got to have a margin of tolerance for you to some orders to being fulfilled in 21 days, 28 days, and still be under the contract. As soon as you are moving to with good faith to fulfill orders in agreed lead time, let's say 14 days, just for this example. And another initiative that I think is very, very important is what I call collaborative planning. Collaborative planning is for your key customers. you agree upfront in a forecast, and make sure the customer orders will going to align to this forecast, and you can talk about the deviations without penalties, right? So it makes a huge difference. It's like increasing your order fulfillment lead time, but without a paper order in your hand, right? So your forecast become more reliable. Collaborative planning is key to make your forecast more reliable. So forecast is educated guess. You got to avoid to use it. But if it is inevitable to use some kind of forecast, collaborate with your customer and make it as reliable as possible. So it's a trajectory. So there is no like push a button and become linear, but you can move towards leaning as in little steps. So that's what I believe. I believe in continuous improvement. So go little by little, step by step, action by action, working on your customer collaboration, on the internal process, and trying to extend your order fulfillment lead time, but still being competitive in the market. So that's it. Talk to you later, and shoot me questions. Please shoot me questions. I love debate.